Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Rising Tide LinkedIn Live every Wednesday, every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. London time, wherever you are in the world. We want you to join us. If you're listening to this on the digital hospitality feed, please get on LinkedIn. Please follow Cali BBQ Media for links to the room. If you want me to add you to the calendar invite, Sean at calibbq.media. I will add you to the room. We've been doing this now for 3 years, and we have an incredible community of leaders, restaurateurs, tech founders, sales professionals, content creators, marketers. We all meet together and we go over topics. Today's topic is going to be business travel tips. So if you have a story about some way that you've hacked business traveling or something that the room could benefit from, we would love to hear it. We have a lot of people in these rooms that go to conferences, that travel. And if you don't travel, maybe you travel personally and you can share something that the room could benefit from. But we believe in digital hospitality. Every business needs to be digital first, especially brick and mortar businesses, and every business is in the hospitality business, whether they know it or not. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get after it for a great room today. Stover, 60 seconds. Who are you? What do you believe? And where are you in the world? Go for it.
Hey everyone, my name is Stover. I'm executive producer with Cali BBQ Media. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. To be specific, this is where I was born and raised. But for a short time, I moved down to Texas and I needed a big change. And I taught myself podcasting, digital video, social media, and all the skills I didn't learn when I was a reporter up here in Portland. That's where I met Sean, and a great relationship flourished about life and business. Most importantly, I just think he's a great person, and I love being part of this amazing team that is growing and bigger than I think we ever would have imagined just a few short years ago. So I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, everyone, and I'm excited to learn some tips for business travel because I was never really good at it. The best I ever got, Sean, was trying to tip people $20 to upgrade my room, which very rarely worked.
That's fantastic. I can't wait. Thank you for the kind words. Elizabeth Doss, 60 seconds. Who are you? What do you believe? Where in the world are you signing in from? Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, which is near the mountainside, unfortunately not near the beach side. I grew up in West Palm Beach, so I love my beach time, which means I really need to make San Diego visit at some point, but get some Cali barbecue. But I am a GIF artist. So I'm a motion graphic designer. I create animations for brands and businesses to use across social in the GIF format. So that's Instagram comments, Instagram stickers, Facebook comments, Slack, WhatsApp, in email, embedding. You can iMessage them. You can use them everywhere, but you can brand them out to you and your business and just have these little touch points, harnessing your thought leadership across social. And today I am working on a project with a company in Canada. And so I love the international part of being able to work remotely and digitally with stuff. So you're talking about travel, and I'm like, well, I travel digitally with all my stuff. So, but I do have some tips along the lines of travel, etc. But I'll hand it back to you, Sean.
Do they use different words in Canadian to American on like words and stuff?
About, yeah.
No, they use a lot of your word, right? They serviette.
We always get a language education, which I can truly, deeply appreciate. Jason Berkowitz, 60 seconds.
What it is, Jason Berkowitz, longtime listener, longtime caller, longtime restaurant operator, founder Arrow Up Training. We help restaurants develop their supervisors into leaders. Calling in from sunny California, and I believe in taking more advantage of AMC's Half Price Tuesdays, which is fun. Gets me out, helps me support the movie industry by going out instead of staying in. And it's a cool air conditioned place, which is badass too. I mean, our home is also, but that's kind of fun. That's what I believe. Back to you.
Wait, are you at an AMC right now?
No. It's not Tuesday.
Like,
Half Price Tuesday.
like that's phenomenal. You're calling us from AMC in the lobby.
Well, we got to up it from Troy and the plane.
Yeah.
You still drop $100 plus, but it's you feel a little bit better, right? You're giving it the popcorn and all. So Half Price Tuesday AMC's.
There it is. I love it. Charlie Eblin, Mr. Singletree himself. What's up?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of all ages? My name is Charlie Evelyn. I'm the owner and operator of Singletree Woodfire Barbecue, host of Singletree Nation, and we are on a mission to become the Nike of barbecue. We're going to do that by building community through undeniable hospitality, storytelling, and the perfect plate of barbecue. I am just south of Nashville, where I just got the pleasure and the privilege to host my friend Sean P. Walchef and the Cali BBQ Media crew for an epic night of barbecue, arguing over mac or beans or smoked beans or wedding beans. And for the first time ever in my career, I was able to sign someone's food baby. That's it. That's me.
There it is. You can see said signed food baby on LinkedIn, which I'm sure Aaron appreciates, but nonetheless, it's there. Charlie Eblin, appreciate you, brother. That was incredible. We made it was more magical than I could have imagined. It all started with me and Charlie on a Instagram live many moons ago. So super cool. Wesley, welcome to the stage. Thanks for being here. 60 seconds. Who are you? What do you believe? And where in the world are you signing in from?
Awesome. Hey, everybody. This is my second time really calling in and being able to speak. I've had to jump from the past couple calls, but my name's Wesley Knapp. I work for a company called Doyle. We are a back office service provider. So we do things like payroll, ACA compliance, accounting, HR, all the really boring things that most operators don't enjoy doing. We kind of take over for them and stand alongside them and help them through. And I believe in just the power of networking and leveraging the people around you to, help with services that maybe we don't provide. I was having a conversation with Mike LaRue this past week, and just being the type of person that's I know a guy type of person, and helping operators the best that I can, whether or not it's in my wheelhouse.
That's awesome. We're grateful that you joined us. This is the community for networking. We believe the rising tide lifts all ships. We are all weirdly available. Just a reminder, follow each other. If you're not following each other, connect with each other, not just on LinkedIn, but on all the other platforms. Thanks for being here, Wesley. Richard Liverman, what is the word of the day, my friend?
Well, the word of the day, I've just had a delightful Zoom call with Summer, and I was explaining to her that it's not called a shopping mall, it's called a shopping center. I mean, why do you guys use the wrong words now? I'm
Richard,
lost.
there's a movie in the 80s called Shopping Mall, but it's spelled like mall, like you would get mauled by a bear. So
I
that's why
remember mall rats. That was fun, but center rats would have just sounded better. But when Elizabeth came over, I took her some really great shopping centers because we don't have malls in Europe. We have shopping centers. So that's word of the day. I'm calling in. I about 85 miles north of London, in a tiny little village, in a beautiful. Well, it's not. It's a nice county called Northamptonshire. I have a philosophy which is don't be boring. I live and breathe it. If you want to know more, get in touch.
Did you say Northamptonshire? Did I say that correctly?
Oh my gosh, sure. Now, Northamptonshire. Let's not even get you started.
Northamptonshire.
Yes.
Northamptonshire.
I'm going to send you a word. I'm going to send you a word on LinkedIn, and I'd like to hear you try and pronounce it next time you introduce an English person. And it's the name of an English county. I want to hear you try and pronounce it. So I'm going to send that to you, and hopefully Scott or Adam's here.
Okay, well, Scott's
This
down
is like
below.
a nightmare for Sean, like testing his pronunciation because he never wants to.
Oh no, it's trust me, for us English people, it's going to be great.
Wampler down there, take it easy, okay? You just take it easy.
You get the names right, I'll take it easy.
I won't get the names right. I try my best. It's not for lack of effort. Hildy, welcome to the stage. Microphone is yours.
Hi, y'all. This is Hildy. I sell swag for a living. I am based in Atlanta, Georgia, but I am a recovering New Yorker, And I, like Jason, do my best to go to the movies on Tuesday. Although here I go to a locally owned movie theater, and yesterday I went to see It Ends With Us for $8. And that's all I paid because I went out to dinner afterwards and didn't get the popcorn and the Raisinets and the Goobers and the Coke that's too big for anybody. And let's see, what am I working on today? I am working on trying to get into some bigger accounts, but I don't do sexy accounts. So I'm going to do some cold calling after I do this very loving, warm call with y'all. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Hildy. We appreciate it. Michael Beck, our digital hospitality guest of the week. Michael Beck's episode just dropped. Michael, what's up?
Oh boy, hey guys, I hope you can hear me. Yeah, Michael Beck. I am the CRO and co-founder of Popcorn GTM. I am located here in beautiful, at least for the time being, Tampa, Florida. At Stover, I went to Western Culinary Institute in Portland, so I definitely love your town out there. At Popcorn GTM, we help companies that are looking to launch in the tech space develop their go-to-market plan around the areas of strategy, partnerships, and sales execution. Things I believe in, active listening. I believe in the 10-foot rule. Engage with anybody within 10 feet of you. In fact, that's how I met my wife. I believe in pattern interrupts. I believe in no TV family meals. I believe in experiences built around the dinner table. So that's what I got.
That's awesome. 10-foot rule. Big fan of your post on the 10-foot rule.
Thank you.
Matt Wampler, not Wampler, for those paying attention. Womp.
Look at Sean getting the names right on a Wednesday.
Matt Wampler.
Do we finally get to hear who the fuck Matt Wampler is?
Yeah. Will the real Matt Wampler please stand up?
The real Matt Wampler is standing up right here. And I told Charlie that the vast majority of people were voting for mac and cheese, not beans.
It's a toss up, but wait till you hear the next episode of Single Tree Nation.
I'm very, very concerned.
It's pretty epic.
Well, I've already burned my 45 seconds, so I'll make it quick. Matt Wampler, ex-owner operator, currently in recovery on the technology side, where I'm CEO over at ClearCogs, where our mission's pretty simple. We're there to set your team up for success each day with the answers they need to make sure they have enough inventory in the store, enough food prepped, and enough staff there to serve them.
It's fantastic. Matt Wampler, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Dean LeBay. What's up, Dean? 60 seconds. Who are you? What do you believe?
Dynamo Dean, the selling machine. Dean LeBay, LA capital BAY, calling you from New Orleans, right next to the Mississippi River. And what am I working on? I'm working on the same thing I work on every day, basically encouraging restaurants to upgrade their equipment and learn how to do a little digital storytelling. And I'm just glad to be here. Thanks.
We appreciate you, Dean. Thank you for your consistency and your commitment to this community. Mike LaRue, 60 seconds. What's up, Mike?
Morning, everybody. Mike LaRue, Vice President of Franchise Development for Angry Chicks. Calling you from the 405 North, headed to Sherman Oaks from Newport Beach, right now in Torrance. Quick thing. So, Richard, you said miles, and it got me thinking, is it kilometers or is it kilometers?
Kilometers.
So there you go.
You can always fact check in this room. So.
Yes. So what do I believe in the pivot? So I've been using CRM, Salesforce is the platform for about a year, and just kind of it's been kind of clunky, and had a call with Troy and his new thing. And they're going to absolutely flip this industry upside down when it comes to the whole CRM and how it works within franchising. So I think gonna make the pivot and make the switch. But pivoting is not a bad thing.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Eric Farrell in the house. Go for it. 60 seconds.
Hey guys, Eric Farrell, ghostwriter for hospitality and food tech brands. You can find me at thewordkitchen.com. Let's see. What do I believe? Let's start with what I'm working on today. I got to fix some back end problems on a landing page that I made. What do I believe in? The state fair should only be visited once every like 5 years. Just did that with 3 kids, my wife and my dad yesterday. I'm very tired. Yesterday was a mess. What else do I believe in? Probably the most important thing. Live your life by the rule that the most important person in the room is everybody but you. It changes how you do everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Douglas Higgins, what's up, my friend? Thanks for being here. 60 seconds. Go for it.
Of course. Hey guys. Well, I'm Doug. I believe that life is better outside, and that has made this last week particularly painful for me because I have been in quarantine. But I'm calling in from San Diego. I've got 2 companies. One, Havatar, does as-built drawings of existing buildings for renovation, and we produced everything in Revit. And the other one is Hostel Cubed, and that is an outdoor brand. So we're increasing capacity of cabins and hostel units in existing RV parks and campgrounds.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for
Of course.
continuing to show up, man. Appreciate it. Laura Wilbur, 60 seconds. Go for it.
Hello, coming to you from North San Diego County, not to be confused with Central San Diego County. I don't know if Troy's on the call, but we'll teach him the geography down here once he gets here with Pepper Lunch. Anyway, I am Director of Strategic Partnerships for Genova Corporate Dining. We help connect business diners with great restaurants when they're traveling for business. And it's a guest acquisition and retention solution for restaurants to drive early and midweek sales and higher check averages. And what I believe is that showing up is, I think, as much as 80% of the battle. And showing up with consistency improves your odds. And just happy to be showing up with all of you today.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear your travel tips, Laura. Thank you. And Scott Turner from Worcestershire. 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 Worcester. Worcestershire.
What's your sauce?
Worcestershire sauce.
Do you know
I
what?
just need to ask the Englishman. Ask the Englishman that one.
The Englishman asked me to pronounce that one.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Worcester.
As in-
Worcester.
Yeah. Worcestershire sauce. Yeah.
Worcestershire. Okay.
Can we please just
By the
let's
way, we
change
have
the spelling.
a couple. Yeah, this is a good sample. If someone could just sample them saying that and put a beat behind it, thank you.
we can
Do
have
it again,
on
please.
a double B. Worcestershire. No, today I am coming to you from Yorkshire, which is in the north of England, and I'm in my hometown for Leeds because every year we have a tradition where we come back for the first game of the season. So I'm currently on a bus heading towards Ellen Road Stadium to watch Leeds United kill Middlesbrough in the cup tonight. So extremely excited. It might get rowdy soon, but that's fine. I am the founder of Auden Hospitality. We create exciting F&B experiences, and yes, you can do that in hotels, and yes, we do that every day. So when you see the next boring hotel restaurant, give me a shout. We can make a difference. And that's it. Looking forward to today. Lots of travel in my career, so looking for some good tips.
That's awesome, Scott. And thank you for joining us from the bus on the way to Leeds. That is very cool. That's digital hospitality at its best. Adam Foreman, do you have a word that you'd like an American to pronounce? Because we're here all hour long.
I think Worcestershire is probably the best one, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's
Not aluminum, aluminum.
but I literally, you're recording this anyway, so I'm definitely going to put it on a sound loop and have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, and maybe a meme or two, that would be quite good. But anywho, I'm back. I've been away. I will not be away, but I've been all over the place. So my alarm is back on now to make sure I'm coming. I'm Adam. I'm the founder of Captive Wi-Fi, Table Ready, and Support Wizard. Captive Wi-Fi basically brings a better experience for your customer journey when you come into your hospitality venue. Unfortunately, Americans all have unlimited data and great signal, so it doesn't really work so well in America, but in Canada and Europe and the rest of the world, it's fantastic. We also give you a better experience when you're visiting hotels, so the customer journey is very good, and we plug into loyalty and others. Table Ready is revolutionizing how you book tables, and how Laura will like this, and how we can help customers who are forgetting to do their table bookings to bring some awesome retail technology into hospitality. So when you're trying to book a table and you forget about it, we're the ones that are integrating into some of the top reservations platforms out there and helping you bring retail technology into restaurants. So basket recovery for restaurants and some additional analytics. So that's nearly ready. My Table Ready is nearly ready, and it's not to be not to be mixed with the other Table Ready, which is in the US, which is a waitlist platform. I'm a big believer in communication, and I believe in being present and showing up, and also being there for your colleagues and partners. I'm a massive believer in building a partner network. I know a ton of people, including Scott and other people in this group. And building a partner network is a strong belief that I have, and everyone in here should be doing it.
That's awesome. Appreciate you, Adam. Always love when you join us. Jordan Silverman, thank you for being here. Go for it.
Hey everyone, Jordan, CEO and co-founder of Starfish here. We help small businesses, specifically restaurants, better understand and lower their costs using AI. No more manual line-by-line P&L analysis. We can do all that for you. I believe in the small things, really just the small things adding up and becoming big things. Small example of that is helping others. Dean saw I was raising my hand, but the stage was full. He hopped down to listen mode just so I could do a quick intro of myself. So the little things really make a big impact. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone here.
Thank you for calling that out, Jordan. Yes, Dean, we love you. We appreciate that. LinkedIn allows 17 people on stage. So Dean, I think you can get back up here. We have 15, but nonetheless, thank you. The little things do matter. Today's topic is business travel tips. You can share a story, you can share a hack, you can share a lesson, whatever inspires you, whatever you think will help this group or whoever hears this content into the future. I will start with something that I think is very basic, but I think it's important that I share it, especially with this community, with this group. Our deep thesis is in smartphone storytelling. We believe that every person on the stage, everyone that's listening to this content, can turn their marketing into media using the tools in our fingertips. I brought a laptop with me. I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. I brought a laptop because I was going to do quote unquote work. And I took the laptop to the TSA. I took it out of the bag at the first San Diego TSA, put it into its bin, took it to Nashville, went to the Restaurant 365 Transformation Tour Festival, was there for 2 days, recorded at least 18 episodes of digital hospitality content, went to Charlie's Restaurant, recorded 3 pieces of content there. I never used my laptop during the entire trip. On the way back in the Nashville airport, I took my laptop out of my bag. They made me put it back in my bag. This long story just to say that I took my laptop for no reason. The only reason that I use my laptop here at my studio is to record podcasts. So whether it's a digital hospitality show, restaurant influencer show, or a podcast that I go on, that is typically why I'm using my laptop. I try never to use the desktop if I can. But why do I say this, and why am I want to talk about business travel tips? If you're listening to this and you do not use your camera frequently, I highly encourage, if you're not going to use it for content, if you're not going to use it for business purposes or to take photos of your kids or your family, move the camera app so that it is easily accessible on your home screen. And if you do not know how to move apps, there are plenty of ways to learn how to do it. Very easy to do. Hold it down and you can move an app. If you have an iPhone, you can move the app so that it is readily accessible. The camera app and the albums app. And the reason that I say that is that I use, I actually, until I went traveling, until we were going to host this room, I didn't realize how much I actually use taking photos, taking screenshots, whether it's a screenshot of my plane, when my plane is leaving, when my plane is arriving, whether it's my hotel room. Sometimes you have a hotel room that's more like a zip code than it is a hotel room. Taking a picture of where you park your car, taking a picture of travel documents and putting a heart next to them so that they're easily accessible. But I use my smartphone like a brain while I'm traveling to help me with logistics. But more importantly, I also use it, as you all know, for publishing. So because I was going to Nashville, it's easy for me to publish that I'm going to be in Nashville. And it's easy for me to reach out to someone that is close to Nashville, like Charlie. We had a lot of magical moments just because we're willing to share where we're going and if there's anybody that we should meet. We all know Ashwin Kalmani. He's part of this digital hospitality leadership group, but he also does a phenomenal job of just asking the question of your network, using your smartphone when you're traveling somewhere. Is there someone in Nashville that I should meet? This is what I'm trying to accomplish. Is there someone there that I should meet? And you'll be amazed at the power of what we call digital hospitality and smartphone storytelling to be able to have some amazing conversations. So that's my story. I'm gonna kick it over to Stover. Stover, you got a story or a tip to share about business travel? Go for it.
Yes, a short story. I used to dream of being sent on travel as a reporter and everything. Even like when I wanted to be in film, I was like, oh, you get to go places and go different locations every day and get on planes and do all this stuff. And that was a product of sort of being stuck in suburbia and this upbringing. And Portland didn't seem like such a big city back then compared to what I'd seen in TVs and movie and stuff. So I just had these dreams, and my local community reporter lifestyle very rarely let me travel until I became president of the local Society of Professional Journalists Board, the 5-state region here. SPJ is one of the longest at the time. Well, I guess it's sort of dying now, but it was a journalistic institution, but it was actually really easy to become president because no one wanted to do it. And I thought as president, I could go to these conferences and all this stuff, which did happen for 2 years. But then I learned how, maybe not fun travel is without a budget and without any money and with no one to travel with. It was fun for a bit, but conferences were not for me because I wasn't doing anything during those conferences. I wasn't working. And had I had a different mindset, I would have had my phone out. And even back then, I still had a phone that could get video. And I would have just been working. I would have done stuff. I would have gone and gone to a local restaurant and reviewed it or something interesting with my time. Instead, I wandered around the conference, just looking at, listening to people, trying to network and just forgetting that I was there and I'm a journalist, but for some reason I didn't capture those trips like I would have now. And the real lesson of all this is I don't think I really wanted to travel. I just wanted new experiences. And now as a parent, the idea of having a job that would make me travel all the time is very scary, especially in the situation I'm in now. So I'm very thankful for technology that lets me work remotely while I sort out all this child stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Stover. Elizabeth Doss, travel tip, travel story.
Okay, I've made a list, so I'm going to make this quick. So just a little background. First off, I'm a full-time RVer. So James and I, even though we're kind of stationary right now, we have traveled a lot as far as that domestically, just in the car, well, in the truck traveling. But I also have helped my parents for years. For 25 years now, help them lead trips to Israel. So we're usually taking about 40 to 50 people with us. My mom and I do lives on Facebook in our private Facebook groups just to get people excited, but also to talk through travel tips and what to pack and what to do, what not to do, and how to be safe and like all the things. And so we have a good time doing all that side of things. But okay, so a couple of products that I always travel with, especially when I'm flying somewhere or something, I will pack a to-go mug, a double insulated mug like in my bag, because a lot of times the coffee at the hotels, it doesn't stay hot enough for me long enough for me. So I will bring my own mug. But also there are these things called mini brushes, like I think Crest does them and Colgate, but you don't need water for them. They have a pick on the end and it's toothpaste that you can even sit at your seat in the airplane. And my mom gets them from the Dollar Tree. But they're usually like in a little 2-pack in the toothpaste aisle. But it's a way for you to just kind of freshen up. And then like travel baby wipes just in case, because we've been in, I think a 13-hour flight for us. And sometimes the layovers and all the stuff, it just extends all of the things. And along with that, we've had canceled flights before. And when you're on a Boeing 777 and 500 people are getting off the plane and trying to figure out what they're going to do for another flight or to rent a car or to do it, like when you have that many people stepping up to the counter, that line gets long and it's slow. And so I learned this from my aunt, Susan, who travels a lot. Go ahead and call the airline or call the car rental place while you're waiting in line, because you might get through faster on that side than trying to wait until you're the one up at the counter. So that was another thought. And then, okay, this is my final one because it involves some people in this room. I don't know if Scott's still here with us. So, okay. When you're going to a city or going to a destination or whatever, you can actually jump on Instagram and type in like your hotel location, and it will like put in like Hyatt Indianapolis, I don't know, but it'll pull up that location and then it will show you it'll have a little map that you can touch on the location side of things. And then around that location, you'll see all these little circles, which are different businesses, restaurants, boutiques, pharmacies, all these things that are directly around that area. And a lot of times if it has a red or like a pink and yellow ring around it, it means someone has posted tagging that location in the last 24 hours. And so it's, that it's a recent, because sometimes people have these amazing pictures. Yeah, but they closed down 5 years ago. So that's not super helpful. So you can actually have in real time stuff. But Scott, it was super cool because I was planning, James and I were headed to London and to Oxford and to Paris this last March. And so I was trying to plan out as much as I could because it was a kind of a last minute, let's just do this kind of trip. And but Scott actually sent me on Google Maps, you can create your own lists. So he sent me it for London and for Paris, a list of places to check out. We went to the bakery French Bastards that he recommended, and it was amazing. And so you can actually send your friends like your favorite places on those lists. But so you can build your own Google Maps side of things, like Stover was talking about. He could have made his own list of places that he wanted to visit, like around the conference area. But also in Apple Maps, if you open up a location and hit the 3 dots on the side, you can say add to guide and create your own guides within Apple Maps on your phone itself. So you can actually have those locations tagged. And what I loved about that side of things is we could see, like we could tag those multiple places and we could see what we were closest to at that point. Like maybe we meandered on an adventure and then we could see, oh wait, Scott recommended this and we're closer to that now than we will be tomorrow. So let's just go ahead and do that. Anyway, so those are a couple of my practical tips. I'll hand it back to you, Sean.
Those were awesome. Great list. And that reminds me, yes, if you are ever in a situation where flights get canceled or there are long lines waiting for a human to help you, remember digital hospitality and remember most of these companies are trying to improve their digital experience so that you can skip the line. So we got a flight canceled and we were literally with hundreds of people waiting for every car rental possible in Las Vegas. And while I was in line, I just went to the Hertz app and was able to skip the entire line. And I think they ran out of cars, probably 10 people into the trip. So use the tools that are available in your fingertips and hopefully that helps somebody. Jason Berkowitz.
Hey, Sean, real quick,
What's up?
I'm going to follow Dean's lead and jump down so that our people can come up if that's an issue. Okay.
Thank you. Jason Berkowitz.
Can we put is this possible, a shared Apple Maps for everybody to sort of like that we tap into? So when we go into a city, we're all adding to some sort of shared one. Is that possible? And we kind of, cover the globe, at least
I-
the States.
Sounds like you can start that list for us. Everything's possible, Jason Berkowitz.
Everything's possible, and I'm bringing this up here in a very Sean Walshut fashion, saying I have an idea, but there are better people who can help implement this. In
Asking
fact,
for help, asking
we
for
ha-
help.
Yeah, we got far better tech people who call into this place. So I've thrown the ball in the air. Here's my quick one. I as people know, like, toured a lot when I was younger in music, and part of that was sleeping on many couches with people who snore, and I'm a sensitive sleeper, so to sound and light. So I got really good at earplugs, but I never liked sleeping with a face mask. And it wasn't until people might have been doing this for decades, I don't know, but it wasn't until recently that I turned on a Reels or whatnot and saw a flight attendant giving their hack, which was when we go into the hotel rooms now, which is different, taking the hanger from the closets and using what you grip for the pants and using that to grip the curtains together to help minimize the light that comes in. And if I'm feeling extra sensitive, I will do that because I could throw in earplugs from people going up and down the halls. And I got to tell you, it's great. And it's absolutely helped me sleep past the sunrise gratitude, because not all of us are up for that, Sean. That's my little travel tip.
And actually, my mom will pack binder clips like from stationery store for the same purpose in case they don't have that type of hanger.
That's fantastic. So there you go.
Fantastic.
What plus it?
Okay, let's hear what Troy Hooper has to say. Business travel tip
Hey, everybody.
or a story.
Thanks for making room for me to come up. Sorry I'm late. Running some busy meetings. I don't know what was said. What are people struggling with? Somebody, what do you want an answer to?
We want to know what is the most impactful thing that you have learned traveling to all the conferences and all the travel that you do, something that can benefit this community. Business travel tip, a digital hospitality business.
Yeah, it's going to sound really silly.
We like silly.
Yeah, this is going to be.
Sometimes obvious is the most important.
I did come prepared. I'll say the one I was prepared. Make a list and use the list. Actually fucking use the list. So every trip I take, I forget something. I forget cufflinks, or I forget earbud, or I forget charger, or I forget some damn thing. Swear to God, every time. Pocket square poofs, whatever, for my jacket, whatever. Or I forget the box of business cards. I went on a trip not too long ago. I had about 7 business cards and didn't have any in my bag because I'd given them all away out of my backpack. So I use notes in my iPhone, and I create a list, which actually creates little bubbles that you can check off. If you create it as a list, it'll do like a header for categories, and then it'll do the items under the category, and then it has little circles. We created one to take we have one for the family when we go to Disney, because we'll go stay a night over in Anaheim, and so we have that list, which includes all the stuff for the pool, because we go do pool. And then when we go to Hawaii, we went to Hawaii on vacation a couple of times the last few years, so we have our sort of flying with Austin, our son, list. But I have a business travel list, and the problem is I have to remember to actually check the packing list to make sure I have all the things. And I still forget. I'll forget my watch. I had to move where I kept my nice watch. I had to move where it was because I kept forgetting it. So I had to put it where I would remember. It's in my underwear drawer now, in the box. So I see the box when I open the drawer to pack for the trip. But yeah, make a list, use the list, have a consistent list of all the things you don't want to forget or that you need, and then use the damn list. And if on that trip there's something unique, then you'll remember those unique items or special items you need to take for that specific trip. But I would have that, going in the sun vacation list, going in the cold work list, going, for 1 night versus 5 nights travel list. I would have a different list. And then the hard part is remembering to use it. But that is the most impactful, because when you get where you're going, hopefully you have not forgotten the things that you kept forgetting on all the other trips before you made the list.
That's awesome. Great tip. Charlie Eblin, what do you got for us?
Well, over the last 3 or 4 years, I really haven't had to travel much. But prior to Singletree, I traveled 5 to 6 days a week. So I would probably say the most impactful thing that I've ever done from a travel standpoint, especially through airports, is getting TSA pre-checked. So getting all the background check stuff done. So, and that allows me to get to the airport about 10 minutes before I'm supposed to board and walk right up to the gate and get in line and board the plane. So I don't have to get there hours early and, waste half a day, or if I got a flight at, 5 o'clock at night, I don't have to be there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Some of that is I'm in Nashville, so the airport's not, crazy huge, and you have to deal with a whole bunch of people. But the other side is I'm going to kind of piggyback on your digital hospitality side, is use the apps, use all of the apps. Never not use the apps. I fly Southwest, and I use the Southwest app to check in 24 hours early. So I have my boarding pass, and I don't have to go print my boarding pass when I get to the airport. And then when I get off the plane, I can check in on the rental car and just walk straight back and pick up my rental car. Or if I'm not using a rental car, as I'm walking to the rideshare app, I can call for my Uber. So by the time I'm getting there, my Uber's there waiting on me, and I can just hop right in. And it just makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier. But hands down, the best thing I've ever done from a travel standpoint was the TSA pre-check. You can also do Clear or whatever the other ones are, but I don't have to take my laptop out. I don't have to take my belt off. I don't have to take my shoes off. You take your electronics and put them in your backpack and slide them through, and you're done, right? You walk through the little thing, and there you go. So cuts down on all that, going through all of the hassle of taking all that off and putting it back on.
It's awesome. I can't wait for my global entry to get approved. So I don't have to. You said 10 minutes before. That gives me serious anxiety, Charlie.
Yeah. So when when
10
we went
minutes before, like, what about the things outside of your control? Come on, man. 10 minutes. Get your ass to the airport earlier. I don't care if you have global entry for what, because you never know. You get on that plane.
I haven't missed a flight yet.
Okay. All right. When this is recorded, and I hope you never miss a flight.
You've tested the universe.
Yeah, I'm tested hard.
Mr. 10 minutes over here. Airport 10 minutes guy.
Yeah. Look, normally I'm not gonna lie to you. Normally I am, if my flight leaves at 9:30, that means you board at 9. Normally I'm at the airport by 8:30. So I'm normally 30 minutes early.
30 minutes early. That works in Nashville. Some international airports that might not work. But
yeah, probably
not. Wesley, tip.
My goodness, driving that close to the line with would be crazy for me. I'm about as OCD and orderly as they come, and I like to get there early and get to the gate and have a minute to decompress. But that's just the way I roll. To give you guys some background on travel for what I do, Doyle, typically we do what we call market blitzes, where we'll choose an area where we might have some current clients, some current restaurant owners in a major city, and we'll do like a week where we just show up and just try and meet with as many people in person as possible. And just meeting hospitality with hospitality, handshake deals go a lot better than trying to cold call somebody on the phone, from what we've found. So with that in mind, I try and map stuff out and just, again, be as orderly as possible. I'm a firm believer in Google Maps with that kind of stuff. They have a feature where you can create lists. You can add as many places as you'd like to that list. And so I usually have them dated so I can go back and remember when we went, why we went. And then you can put notes under each mapped location that you have saved in that list. And so I'll have notes from the conversation that we had, who we met with, why it was impactful for us to have those conversations with them, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And it also just allows us to make the most of our time, because mapping that stuff out, making sure we're at the right places at the right time, again, important to me. It makes it a whole lot easier. But outside of that, just some stuff that I've learned along the way. I travel with a pillowcase. If you're flying and you have a checked bag, this has come in handy one time, and now I always do it. Obviously, with the bag weighing more than 50 pounds, you pay the fee, or you can take some clothes out, stuff it in the pillowcase, and treat it like a pillow and use it as a personal item hopping on the plane. So that has come in handy before for us. Also, I'm kind of like Jason. I hate when there's somebody that snores, if there's too much noise in a room. And Apple actually has a feature that I just found out about, where you can add, if you go into settings and type in Control Center, you can add a feature to that Control Center called Hearing. And hearing is like ambient noise creation that your iPhone can make. And so it's like a normal noise machine, kind of blocks a lot of stuff out. And then if you set your alarm on your phone like I do, it turns off the ambient noise and fires up your alarm. So it's been really helpful and helps me catch a couple more Z's before all the important meetings we take part in. But that's just a few things that I've run into.
That is awesome. Great tips, Wesley. Thank you. Michael Beck, I know you got to jump real quick, but why don't you jump in here? Go for it.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. And Wesley, that's a great tip on the anchor meeting. You know, when you fly into town, instead of just spending the company money on that one, you can look at everybody in that impact span. That's something I've always valued. Yeah, so I mean, for all this, just kind of calling out loyalty programs are definitely, you know, something that you should keep in mind, right? Because if you use that, then you can earn points that'll give you free upgrades on hotels and cars. And at the end of the year, you get to cash in those points you racked up on your own for family trips that are free. So that's kind of a low hanging fruit. One of the things I've been evangelizing lately is the idea of using Airbnb as a hotel substitute. Recently, we just had this experience in Seattle. The room nights were about $325, $350 a room per head in Redmond. And so over the course of 3 nights, that would cost us nearly $6,500 for the amount of people we had. Instead, we found an Airbnb at $600 a night, which saved us roughly $5,000 for the trip. And so not a bad way to go. If you do happen to want to go, if you do happen to need to go to a hotel, especially if you know proximity to an event, well, then it's a little tougher for this tip. But if you go to a hotel and you just say, you know, what's your occupancy? If you find you're below 40%, you can usually wrangle a better room or better view because of that, because they're not so concerned with that space. And then the other one is just more of a, well, actually another hotel tip is your shower. It's a great steamer in case you have wrinkled laundry. You can put your suit or clothing on a coat hanger, put your shower on full blast on hot, close the door with your clothes hanging somewhere in that shower, and it will steam it nicely and have you ready for the next day. And then the last one is really, I think, on brand for what we're talking about with regard to, you know, guerrilla content and making content, which is almost to what Troy was saying, build a list. But this list for me is a treasure hunt of fun shots I want to get on this show, something iconic about the city I'm in, or that resonates with the brand or the group I'm meeting with. My business partner, Paul, he has these stickers he did before we came along. And I love the idea that we find these sticker walls that are all over the country, that we put up our own little logo in that mishmash and take a picture of that. And then the other one is sometimes we'll bring a mascot, and I've seen that done before, which I love, which is maybe it's a little monkey or stuffed animal or something that you bring that is in all these different iconic locations you travel, and now it's part of your dialogue. Those are my tips.
Those are great. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you coming up
Of
and
course.
sharing that. Richard, what do you got?
Yeah, it's a great topic, and I feel very privileged that I've got to travel a lot in the past with work. And 2 stories. The first was I heard a conversation, because obviously jet lag is very, very difficult. And I heard a conversation between 2 guys on the plane. I think one was a businessman, I think the other was a policeman. And they said that if you take your shoes and socks off and just walk on carpet, it really gets over jet lag. I was distraught to find out that was a plot device for John McClane in Die Hard. I'd done it for years and couldn't understand why it didn't work. So I was very, very frustrated about that. But hey, I still tried it for years and years and years. It was only the last couple of years I found out it wasn't true. The true story for me is I was staying in Memphis, and we were staying at a hotel called the Crown Plaza, and Scott's going to wince at this. I looked at the food menu and I'm not eating in that hotel. It looks awful. And I sort of said to the people on the front desk, right, where's the best place to go and eat? And they said Beale Street. And I'm like, look, I'm over here on business. I don't want to go to a tourist place. Where would you go? Where would you go? Like, it was a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. I was like, where would you go and eat as you as a local? And they said, well, it's about half an hour away. I was like, yeah, I'll go there. We'll go there. And they said, there's this place called Gus Fried Chicken. Like, it was their first location. They said, if you can go there, like, it will just be people like heading for sports, or it will just be locals in there. And we walked for half an hour. We nearly gave up, and we got up Google Maps and we saw it was a couple of blocks away. And it is some of the best fried chicken I've ever eaten. And what was fantastic about it was there were no English voices in there. They're all Americans mispronouncing words. So I think there's something really great. If you go to a location that is not home, how can you experience like what the locals do? Where can you eat where the locals eat? And I had this fantastic experience in there, and truly the food was just fantastic. And best of all, just listening to locals, not being ripped off in the kind of tourist places on Beale Street. It really was a fantastic experience. So take your shoes off and eat Gus Fried Chicken.
Richard, what year was that?
I think that was 2014 or 2015. I know that it's become a franchise and is expanding.
Yes.
But it was when the original owner was in there, I'm sure.
The magic of your story. I went to Gus's when I was in Memphis back in 2006. And I think that was just their second. So we went to both Gus's. There's one in Memphis, and then there's one that you actually have to drive to that is like in a gas station or next to a gas station. But you're absolutely right. Phenomenal. And that's what a great story. I'm so happy you shared that. Thank you, Richard. Hildy, travel tip. Oh no, Hildy, we can't hear you. Lost Hildy. We'll get her when she comes back. Mike LaRue, travel story, travel tip.
I'll give a quick tip and we'll have to bounce, but this is a great topic. With my little kiddos, I don't travel as much, but I will say this, the TSA pre-check, 1,000% is a winner. Second to that, you know, when it comes down to jacket or jeans and attire, I try and kind of mix and match to where I can limit the amount of clothing I'm bringing and space I'm utilizing. And my carry-on, I typically only bring a carry-on. And then the one thing that's actually discontinuing, I fly Southwest, and before you could you basically pick your seats, kind of first come first serve. And what I would do is try and be like middle of the pack, so I can kind of eyeball on whom I wanted to sit next to. And I would always try and find the most interesting or most successful person on the plane. And then even if it was like a middle seat, I would literally just go and sit right next to that person. And then, you build a conversation and you meet someone new. Southwest has actually changed that policy, and they're now going to have assigned seating. So that will end that strategy. I'm complete.
I love that strategy. That reminds me of being at the conference and thinking of all of these different tables where people are eating breakfast and people are eating lunch, and just look for somebody interesting. And what's even crazier is that you have no idea who's sitting next to you. Someone you might think is interesting and somebody that is just low profile. I mean, I sat down at the JW Marriott at this Restaurant 365 event, and I sat down to this gentleman that had hundreds of restaurants that he was responsible for, and like low profile, so humble, you'd have no idea, but strike up a conversation. That 10-foot rule is awesome. Good stuff, Mike. Eric, what do you got?
I'm very fortunate that I haven't done a lot of business travel in any aspect of my career. Not yet. only because I've discovered that my motion sickness and migraines and stuff, they make me paint the inside of airplanes different colors. So I need to avoid that. So that's one of the reasons I got into this business and this solopreneur writing gig, because especially aiming toward food industry. I'm very food obsessed. So is my family. We homeschool our kids. My wife desperately wants to have an RV and pack the kids up and make it, a month of homeschool experiences, just traveling the country and parking the RV somewhere and doing different things and eating at cool restaurants. And I get to work and meet clients and cool people at the same time. That's the goal, at least. And part of the thing that has driven us toward that I'm surprised nobody has mentioned so far is how to make all of that a tax deduction. I'm a professional cheapskate by necessity, and I follow people like Tom Wheelwright, CPA for Robert Kiyosaki. And one of the quotes I heard him say years ago was something along the lines of, if CPAs, if your client says to you, how do I make this a tax deduction? They're asking the wrong question. Everything is tax deductible. The question is how. And so I'm really interested in how to turn any aspect of a business traveling, the resources that you have to use, the tools you have to use, down to, you got to go buy new clothes. You can call that a uniform. Everything is tax deductible. How do we save money and be good stewards of the money that we have and our clients' money and all of the revenue for the business? How do we take good care of that using the tools and the systems at hand? And I'm not saying that from the standpoint of being a pro. I know just enough to be dangerous, and I know enough to go ask the smarter people the better questions. So I've got a ton to learn. I just wanted to throw that on the table and say, let's talk more about that, because you guys know way more about that than I do, and I want to learn.
That's amazing. Great share, Eric. That's not my wheelhouse, but we're trying to build a media company that pays for a lot of our travel. So I will throw that out there. Hildy, are you able to speak?
Can you hear me?
We can now. Go for it.
Woohoo! Okay, so I wrote a list. That way I didn't forget anything. Starting with Elizabeth's idea of always packing a tumbler. So the best tumblers now are no longer double wall stainless steel, but it's stainless steel outside and ceramic inside. Better taste, better quality. And then Hildy's favorite hack, before I leave the house, I put some ice cubes either in my stainless water bottle or my stainless ceramic tumbler, because it's a solid, therefore it goes seamlessly through the machines. And then all you have to do on the other side of security is to fill it up with water or whatever you like, if you like cold drinks. That's number one. Number two, I found an app. I've only left the country once. It was last year to go to Italy, and I found the app Time Shifter. And your first round trip is free. You tell it what time you like to wake up, what time you like to go to bed, where you're going, when you're going. And the app, about 3 days before you're ready to leave, starts telling you what to do, so that when I arrived in Italy, I had zero jet lag. When I left Italy and came back to Atlanta, I had zero jet lag. I wasn't perfect following the app, because sometimes it was just, I'm not going to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I followed it enough so that I had zero jet lag. So that is called Time Shifter. If you're going to be on an airplane more than 2 hours, it is a non-negotiable. I can't tell you how many people I know personally who have been in the hospital from blood clots. You must bring compression socks. People will complain how hard they are to put on. They are not. Google how to quickly put on compression socks, and you'll see a little sock puppet showing you how quickly you can do compression socks. Next, a laundry bag. Okay, some hotels you'll have that nasty plastic one, but all you have to do is bring your favorite machine washable tote bag, which hopefully when you go to the grocery store, you're always using tote bags, and hopefully they're machine washable tote bags. So bring a tote bag with you, put each handle on a different hanger, and then every time you have dirty laundry, stick it in the tote bag. When you're ready to leave, if it has a zipper, zip it closed. If it doesn't, use the handles to close it. And then how easy is that to just dump the whole thing in the washing machine when you get home? If I go to Las Vegas and I don't remember my portable humidifier, I end up with a bloody nose because Atlanta is moist, Las Vegas incredibly dry. I will get a bloody nose. So I have started every year when I go to Vegas, I bring a portable humidifier. It's easy, breezy. You can even get them branded now through me if you want. I got mine on Amazon for maybe $8 or $10, and it's a lifesaver. In addition, a portable steam iron. I just got them branded. They're tiny, they're mighty, and if you are one who does like to be wrinkle-free, it's an easy way, because I've tried the shower thing. It's never gotten them out. For those of you who travel with children, doesn't even have to be on an airplane. It can be any kind of travel. I invented this 5 or 6 years ago because we were looking down at our phones instead of looking up and out as to where we were and the beauty. So I invented this thing that I call the photo contest. So if they're little kids, maybe they've got the iPads, or maybe you get them cameras, disposable cameras, whatever your family is comfortable with. But you say it's a photo contest, and everybody gets to take pictures, but it can't be anybody you know in the pictures. It could be strangers, it could be a mountain, it could be the beach, whatever it is. Everybody takes their pictures. Each person in the contest picks one picture. You post them on a couple of social media sites, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, YouTube. Some of them have an option that you can vote. If not, you can say, pick, do you want photo A, B, or C? And then whoever wins the contest gets an Amazon gift card. So it's a way to get everybody to be more engaged in looking out instead of looking down at their phones. Another thing that I know is important is gifting flight attendants. I try to always bring swag with me to gift the flight attendants. It usually means that they're going to move my seat or throw me some free alcohol. But honestly, they are so forgotten. Or they'll say to me, wow, you're the first one who's given me a gift that wasn't candy, which I'm not going to eat candy and chocolate. So it could be a pen. I know people give $5 Starbucks gift cards, whatever it is, just to show gratitude to the flight attendants. Power banks and 3-foot charging cords. Can't live without those. And lastly, I am more of an outdoor person than an indoor person. So I open up the All Trails app every city I'm in, and the Pokemon app. But the All Trails app will show me nearby where I can find someplace, whether it's an easy walk or a challenging hike. I used it in Italy and found some magnificent places that I never would have found without. And I hope I didn't overwhelm the room, but I just wanted to share. I don't usually share so much. This was my share day. Back to you, Sean.
That's phenomenal. You have incredible share. That's deep knowledge. And the best part is it's recorded. So it will be on the digital hospitality feed. Douglas Higgins. Doug, what do you got?
Yes, sir. Well, I don't travel much these days, but I used to, because I lived in the Middle East for a couple of years, and I was covering Latin America when I was at Hilton. So I used to be quite a globetrotter, and now I enjoy a much more relaxed life. But back in those days, I guess what I would tell you is I learned alcohol and travel don't agree with me. It really disturbs my sleep. And so at some point, after a year or two of, those long haul flights, I pretty much just cut it out, on the travel. It's hard because it's free, and, when you're early 20s, that's hard to turn down. And but it really wasn't worth it for me. So I gave that up. And then on Rick Steves, he used to have some great tips, and a couple that I took to heart. One, pack light. A lot of the stuff you think you need, when you first start traveling, you don't really need. And so one of his tips was, if you're trying to figure out if you need something or not, try to think how the people wherever you're going live without it. And if they don't, then obviously you can get it where you're going. So packing doesn't have to be such a horrible, stressful experience. because if you really need it, they'll have it where you're going. And he also said, you know, travel like you're going to be back. You know, you can't pack everything in, you know, where you're going. And so, you know, enjoy what you have time for, and assume you'll be back, you know, so you can really kind of enjoy the place that you're going instead of worrying about packing too much in. So, I'm sure I could come up with a few more, but I'll leave it there for now because I think those are the good ones.
That's amazing. Travel like you're coming back. That's really good stuff, Doug. Thank you for sharing. Laura,
I love this topic. So I'll start out with tips, and thank you so much, everybody, for your tips. Mine are don't check a bag. Just figure out how to go with your carry-on. It'll save you a bunch of time. If you have a connecting flight, you don't run the risk of missing it and having your bags be lost. So just figure out how to just do. I use the Away travel bag. Fits great in the overhead. I also have a backpack with a strap that slips onto the handle of that Away bag, and I keep it stocked with everything I need for my business trips. So a name badge, a portable charger, my business cards, which I rarely use now because I just do digital, you know, connect, like share LinkedIn or, you know, use the electronic business cards. So another one for the ladies is just wear tennies with your business suit or dress. All the conferences I go to, women have really gone to just kind of cute, simple, like court shoes type tennis shoes, or just find some super comfortable shoes because you walk so far. Like sometimes it's a mile between your room and the conference floor. Also wear a sweater blazer. You can roll it up, stick it in your backpack. And J. Crew makes great ones. I think it's called like the schoolboy blazer. And then Faraday makes really good ones for guys, and they look so good. And they're just, you know, for our industry and hospitality at the conferences, like you can really get away with those. Let's see. The other thing is, Eric, you mentioned a couple things, sort of, one was more family stuff, but if you're still on the call, I think you are. If you go to the state fair again, make sure you take a family photo in the photo booth. Or if you ever go to any place with your family, as the years go on, everybody squeeze into the photo booth and just take some pictures. We started doing that at the California State Fair when my son was probably 6 months, and just have some of the most fun pictures from that. And then you asked about tax deductions. So business meals are 50% tax deductible. And it's such a huge category, you guys. So for those of you that have restaurants, the spending, as we know, is kind of shrinking with consumers. Consumers are pulling back on their visits to restaurants and how much they're spending. But business travelers are spending $245 billion annually on food and beverage. A third of that is on catering. It's the second largest category on global business travel spend is food and beverage. And they are really not price sensitive, most of them, right? So they have a bona fide business reason to be dining at your restaurant. They want to have a great experience and try all the fun things, splurge on the high margin extras. So if your restaurant doesn't already have a strategy around acquiring more business travelers, you definitely want to have one. Back to you.
incredible. Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Jordan Silverman, thank you for your patience.
Of course. So I used to travel fairly often from New York to Paris and Israel. I know, tough life I lived, because I had teams in both places. And I'm just going to give 2 tips. Number 1 is your first day someplace, always show up with breakfast. Doesn't matter what it is, but the team's so happy not only to see you, but have breakfast. Really simple gesture that goes a long way. And then number 2 is try to have lunch with a different person each day. It's so easy just to like be busy, have lunch at your desk. I love nothing more than having dinner in a hotel room by myself with no offense to my wife and kids, just sit there by myself and watch TV. But having dinner with someone, having lunch with a different person each day goes a long way, whether that's with your team or with clients. But those are my two quick tips for the sake of time. Bring breakfast, don't show up empty handed, and try to have lunch with a different person every day.
Tips. Thank you, Jordan. What an awesome room. Thank you guys down below. We appreciate it. If you're listening, please join us every Wednesday, every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Friday, our friend and leader, Troy Hooper, will be interviewing the Kings of Fish cast, Michael Ungaro, who's part of this digital hospitality community, Amazon Prime. If you have not watched it, please watch it. If you have a Prime membership, Kings of Fish, you can search Kings of Fish. It is incredible, achieved the San Pedro Fish Market for the family, but they're going to be in our digital hospitality room to talk about all things that it took to create a show. This web series has been going for 7 years and just yesterday launched on Amazon Prime, which is such a cool, we say be the show, not the commercial. Michael Ungaro and family, they literally have a show on Amazon Prime. Troy's going to lead that conversation. Let's go. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Elizabeth, what do you got?
Yeah, two things real quick. Eric mentioned doing RV life and doing digital nomading. My husband and I did that for 5 or 6 years, and diversify your Wi-Fi. So I have AT&T, he has Verizon, so that we cross over in the country and be able to have Wi-Fi wherever, whatever campground we're at, or all those things. So just throwing that out there. Second thing, all you parents that travel on airplanes with your kids, grab some painter's tape from your hardware closet at home, DIY stuff, and let them like tape their toys to the windows, to the chairs, to other stuff. You can even like they can make a racetrack across the arms, all the things. Just grab some painter's tape, and it'll be at least an hour or so of fun. So anyway, back to you, Sean.
Do you guys have 2 different phone plans? Is that what
We
or
do.
just Wi-Fi? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we have
Both iPhones or Androids or what?
both iPhones. And we have a MiFi as well.
Okay. Diversify your Wi-Fi. I've never heard. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh, those are really smart tips.
But I would get so upset if my wife had the better Wi-Fi and I didn't. Like, I'm like,
Oh,
I can't do any work here. This is crazy. Let me use your phone.
That's why and then the
well, now I have to ask who has better Wi-Fi? Which plan? Verizon or AT&T, or do you guys have something else?
It depends on what part of the country we're in, because it's usually out west where we are, like Wyoming, South Dakota, like Montana.
Now, who has the best coverage?
It depends on what part of the state we're in. It really does. Like, wow, between who has it better. Usually his does better closer to cities. Mine's
Is he Verizon or is he AT&T? He's Verizon.
and then, but out in the boonies, mine the AT&T does a little bit better.
Okay, you heard it here on the digital. That's why we do the deep work here. You guys got the answer. Jason Berkowitz, tip takeaway homework assignment.
Drink lots of water.
Ooh, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
tip. Hydrate.
Drink lots of water. Hydrate.
Troy Hooper.
Oh man. Sleep. If you're drinking a lot of water, you're eating well and not consuming too much alcohol, there's nothing more important to sleep. It's hard. If you can pack one of those squishy, if your pillow is a memory foam pillow and you can roll it up tight and pack it, bring the pillow. I'm really sensitive to pillows. So try to bring your own pillow if you can roll it up really tight and it fits in your luggage.
I'm sure everyone knows this, but in case you don't know this, if you have an iPhone, you can text whoever you're meeting at the airport or whoever loves you at home. You can text, like if you're flying Southwest, SW, your flight number, just the flight number SW and whatever the flight is, 1574. If you just text that to someone, it will make a hyperlink that will show your actual flight. It'll give you a preview of where that flight is, when it's arriving, if there's a delay. I'm sure everybody knows that, but if you don't know that, it's an amazing thing for somebody.
Did not know that today.
No, it will blow your mind away. Like literally do it, and you'll see whatever plane you want, where they're going, what they're, like you have also.
And it updates you if there's delays or changes or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, I tracked Elizabeth's flights with that. It's brilliant.
There you go. Richard.
Yeah, I love this topic. And just something that came to my mind was a few years ago, I went to Nashville and had a really mediocre meal. And this week, watching you guys eating in Charlie's Place, my top tip is, Rich, you need to go to Nashville and eat barbecue. That looked fantastic. That's my homework.
There it is. Yes, if you go to Nashville and you don't drive to Murfreesboro, that's your fault. Charlie is a master at his craft and
Having been there, I second that.
master at his craft. Absolutely incredible. Eric, tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Thanks for being here.
Ooh, lots. Let's see. Tip, Richard, you mentioned the feet on the carpet thing to fix the jet lag. It won't work on carpet. Get your bare feet outside in the grass. The wetter and colder, the better. That will fix way more problems than you can imagine. Grounding is real. Other tip, I guess. Our rule of thumb for when we go to any sort of international ethnic restaurant, if we walk in and we're like the only goofy white people there, it's going to be good. If it's all natives and locals there, yeah, I'm looking forward to that meal. So that kind of plays into what Richard said, but that's it.
There you go. Sweet. Douglas Higgins. Doug, what do you got?
Oh, well, it sounds like I've got an assignment to watch Kings of Fish. I got no excuse because I still have a few more days in isolation, it looks like. So, yeah.
Kings of Fish, watch it. It's incredible. Thank you, Doug. Laura, go for it.
My takeaway, well, first off, so you text SW, do you text out the word flight?
Nope,
I didn't know this.
just S. So American Airlines, it would be AA,
Okay.
and then whatever airlines like. It works for every single airline. It's mind blowing.
Okay.
I'm sure you could go to TikTok or Instagram and just put like Apple flight preview.
Right.
Someone will put a video up of how to do it, but it's amazing.
So that's my homework assignment. The next time I fly to try that text hack. And then the last one is I was on a flight on the way home from Atlanta once for business. I was in the aisle seat, which I always try to sit in the exit row aisle if I can. There was a gentleman in the corner, in the window seat, and we were about to take off. And I said, I hope nobody sits in the middle. And he said, what if it's the coolest person we'll ever meet? So I want to be more like that guy.
That is awesome. Yes. What if it is the coolest person you've ever met? You have no idea. What? Awesome. Great show.
Right.
Yes. Hildy, go ahead.
If you arrive in the Atlanta airport 30 minutes early, you're never going to make it. I used to have Clear, and I also signed up for digital. And in Atlanta, again, it's not everywhere, but in Atlanta, we have digital ID is always faster than Clear. So I canceled Clear. I know digital isn't everywhere. I know San Diego, you can get in and out quickly, but I don't think you should assume that for every airport. So that would be definitely something I'd highly recommend people to be a little bit more mindful. And I do think there are apps. I know there's an Atlanta app that will tell you how long security is. And Kings of Fish, here I come. That is my to-do for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Hildy. And if you guys watch Kings of Fish, take a picture of you watching it, put it on LinkedIn, put it on social. The more people talking about Kings of Fish, the better. So thank you to this community for helping out the Ungaro family. Jordan, go for it.
Mine is actually on the personal travel side. Hildy, your call out of giving something to the flight attendants or something. Next time I travel with my daughter, that's a no-brainer. So love that idea. Thank you.
Yeah, that reminded me. I asked for a manager. I don't know if anyone's tried Slim and Huskies in Nashville. I believe they have locations in Atlanta, but it was the best fucking airport pizza I've ever had in my life. And I made a point to go up to the counter and say, I need to speak to your manager. They thought that they were in trouble. I got the manager to come out from the back and I told them they have a serious problem because they've ruined airport pizza for the rest of my life because it was so phenomenal. So she said, thank you for telling me. Nobody ever tells us nice things. We are in the hospitality business, and high volume places like airports, they need a little bit of love too. They were doing great work. Adam Foreman, go for it. Adam, you still with us? If not, no worries. James, thank you for recording. Summer, Richard, Dean, Ryan, we see you guys down below. We appreciate this community. We will see you on Friday. Troy, thank you for leading the room. Kings of Fish. It's
Yep,
coming
yep.
coming on Friday. Elizabeth, Jason, Troy, Richard, Eric, Doug, Laura, Hildy, Jordan, Adam. Travel safely. Use the travel tips. And we appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing up. We'll catch you guys all on Friday. Thank you.